My name is Harry. I'm part of the commercial team here at Kefron, and I work in the digital side of the business. Now, I've been with Kefron for coming up to 5 years now, and my role at Kefron really is to speak with finance teams across the UK and Ireland and over in the United States and North America. And what I like to do is try and understand their current accounts payable process. And if they're looking to automate, I can help them through with that. So understanding where the inefficiencies are, what they need from an automated system, and then I'll try and work with them to implement Kefron AP, which is our accounts payable or P2P automation platform. And what we're going to be talking about today is something that I know a lot of people are going through, and we speak to a number of businesses that have to do it for a few different reasons, and that is switching ERP systems. So changing your core finance system, some of the challenges that go along with that, and where accounts payable automation may be able to assist you with this. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the importance of the accounts payable function. And a good place to start on this is I attended an event, I think it was about a year ago now, which was an accounts payable focused event. And what we saw there is the accounts payable team was really the lifeblood of the finance process. And there was an accounts payable team on a stage talking about their kind of what they've been through as an accounts payable team as part of a wider business. And something they used to say was accounts payable was previously seen as a black hole where invoices go and get stuck before they can get paid out. Other people in the business who didn't understand accounts payable well enough were querying why their suppliers hadn't been paid on time. They had no idea what was going on. Accounts payable were doing everything correctly as per their function, as what they needed to do, but it still meant things were getting paid late or delayed payments, which meant people within the organization were chasing them constantly to figure out why this was happening. Now, what we see is that accounts payable is at the center of the financial ecosystem. And what it means is it's a business critical function. You need your suppliers to be paid on time and accurately to ensure the business continues to operate as it should do, and also allows you to kind of grow within your specific industry. Accounts payable work mainly within their ERP system, and they want to enhance visibility, accuracy, and decision making across the process. And a seamless AP process prevents disruptions, such like a well-functioning economy, if you want to draw that conclusion yourself. But kind of just to wrap that all up, we really see accounts payable as a core function within the business, specifically within the finance team, which is really important to make sure everything runs smoothly and on time. Now, there might be a few of you that are going through this at the moment or thinking about it, but changing your ERP system. Now, it's something that might come out of necessity. For instance, if your current ERP system is on its last legs, if they're no longer supporting it, it is a significant change event which happens within an organization, which can be quite daunting, but is also an opportunity for change within the business and make things better. You might be outgrowing your current ERP system as well. There are some accounting finance systems that are aimed at small businesses. You might have grown through acquisition or organically, and now you're looking at a system that's a bit more robust and does a little more for you. Also, lack of support. If there is a poor support functionality, or if the ERP system is end of life, there might be less support which is available to you. Now, some of the challenges that go along that we find with the business that's moving ERP systems or changing their core finance system, I've got on the screen for you here, and I'll talk through a few of them for you. So, compliance, and this can be industry specific, it can be geography specific, but you need a system that is going to comply with all the regulations that go along with your industry, with where you're based, things like that. Data migration is a really, really important one, and there's a lot of talks that we've been to that will they'll go on about the importance of good quality, clean data, and you need that to be stored somewhere. When you're investing in a new ERP system, the data will at first be in your old system, but eventually needs to get into your new system, and you need to find a way to do that without missing anything. User adoption is a really big one. With a brand new system comes a brand new way of doing pretty much everything, and that can be quite daunting for people within the organization. They'll have a way of doing things that they know and understand. It may not be the most efficient, but it is something they understand at the time, and you need good training and good support to be able to adopt a new core finance system. Process alignment, so aligning with specific business goals that you've got. You might be investing in a new system because you need better visibility, but making sure the new system aligns with exactly what you want to be doing as a business. Potential for some downtime in the stop or the gap between the new systems, the old one turning off and the new one being fully up and functioning. There might be some downtime where things are put on hold within the organization. And then specific integrations. And this, again, links to, can be industry specific. There might be some purchasing modules that you have which are key to how your business operates, or buying specific goods or stock. There might be expenses modules you have. There might be reconciliation modules. It's making sure that your new core system will integrate with your existing modules that you have, or if it's going to be something that replaces them, making sure that it's doing everything it needs to in that sense. Now, I want to talk a little bit about when is the right time to think about, if you're looking at AP automation along with an ERP upgrade, when is a good time to do it? And there's kind of 3 times you can do it here. There's investing in accounts payable automation before investing in a new ERP. There's investing in during your upgrade to your new ERP. And then there's investing in it after the upgrade to your new ERP. Now, again, we have a view of what is the best option here from what we've seen from all the customers we speak to and all the finance teams we speak to who have gone through this. You might be able to tell from the slides and the bullet points here which one we think may be the more difficult of the 3, but I'll talk you through some of the points that we find. So implementing an accounts payable automation system is going to be far quicker and far cheaper than investing in a brand new ERP, which are huge projects which can take months, potentially even years. I was actually speaking to a business the other day where their ERP upgrade, they're moving to a new SAP system, and it had taken them 4 years with all the changes in the business, which was a really, really, really long time, longer than most that we speak to. But investing in accounts payable automation is not even nearly that long. We find that when we start working with the client, we like them to be live within kind of 4 to 8 weeks. So it's a much shorter time after investing in a system that you'll be up and running. And in that sense, it can be seen as a quick win compared to an ERP upgrade. If you're investing in it before you move a new ERP as well, what it'll also do is give you significant time back. Because we're automating a lot of those manual processes, it gives your finance team more time to focus on working on what they need to do for the ERP upgrade, whether that's forecasting, whether it's looking at what modules you need, gives you more time back to do that. And again, as I said earlier, accounts payable automation is less expensive than a full ERP upgrade. If you're looking to improve your finance function, and actually something like automation tools can do enough where you don't need to invest in a new ERP, you're going to get a better ROI on that. Typically as well, AP automation and P2P is going to be cheaper than hiring a brand new FTE in the team. So that's the first one, investing in accounts payable before upgrading ERP. Second one is during ERP. So you might have already signed the contract to go with the new ERP, implementation might have started, you might be in the requirement stage. This is also a really good time to look at investing in accounts payable automation. The reason for that, and the big reason we see, is that your business is already going to be going through a change. There's already going to be a change of process, a brand new system involved. And what you can do is look to make it as efficient as possible by investing in an accounts payable automation platform that goes live at exactly the same time as your new ERP. Because of that, your finance team and your accounts payable team will only have to learn 1 new process compared to 2 if you invested in accounts payable after or before the new ERP. And that's really, really important. If you're looking to make sure that people adopt this change, just getting them to learn 1 new process is a really, really big win there. What we can also do is work directly with your ERP partner or the ERP provider directly to ensure that Kefron is filling any gaps that maybe the ERP system you've invested in doesn't have at the moment. It might not have any extraction technology. It might not have any process automation technology. And that's where we can fill in and smooth over those gaps. Now, the third option is investing in accounts payable software after your new ERP. With this, it does mean that your finance team will have to learn 2 new processes. If you go live with your ERP, they'll have to learn the manual process of using the ERP first, and then an automated process when you invest in accounts payable automation. It will give you better visibility of the gaps that your current ERP system has. So you'll be able to review your system, the new process, and you'll see actually we do need some automation in these areas here. What I also do though is it means there's going to be 2 projects that need to happen. and 2 budgets aligned to 2 separate systems, which can be difficult after going through the hefty investment of a brand new ERP system. I would say though that investing in new ERP is absolutely an opportunity for change, and it's a good one. And again, it can feel quite daunting going through a massive change within the business and investing in a whole new system that's going to take a lot of resources from your side, might cost a lot of money. But what we'd suggest is you identify where there's gaps in the process ahead of investing in a new system, whether that's AP or ERP. When you're going through that change, rather than making the easy decision, make sure you're making the right decision. And this is really important across quite a lot of things, to be honest, but specifically with an investment like an ERP, don't just go for the easy option or whatever the salesperson suggested to you. Make sure you review multiple systems and make sure you're getting the right one. And then it can also save you money. So finding out where the ROI is by comparing multiple systems and aligning those with your specific plans within the business, whether that's growth plans or maintenance plans, whatever it may be. It is an opportunity. It's a good thing for businesses to do, to go through that change and become more efficient. Now, I wanted to talk very quickly about an ERP system upgrade and move over, and a bit of a success story here at Kefron. So we work with a company called Gold Care Homes. Now, Gold Care Homes are a group of 34 care homes at the moment across England. They process about 3,000 documents a month through Kefron. It has gone up a little bit since they invested in Kefron, well, quite significantly since they started invested, but it's gone up a little bit this year. There are 4 people in Accounts Payable, and they were founded back in 1999. Now, we started talking to Gold Care Homes back in 2019, and they had 26 care homes at the time, and they were going through quite steady growth plans. They were acquiring new care homes, bring them into the group. And one of the issues that they found with that is that they needed to roll out their Sage 50 system, which is what they were using at the time, to these other care homes to standardize the process. Now, because they were going through this kind of business change, they decided to invest in Kefron AP at the time. So what we did is we took their invoices, we extracted the data, passed it through workflows, and posted it into specific parts of their Sage 50 system. After Kefron, so after investing, what they were able to do is they were able to add an additional 7 care homes into the group. They didn't have to hire anyone new into the business, so there was no need to hire a new FTE. If they weren't using an automated system, they'd have to hire at least 1 new FTE. So that immediately saved them about 32 grand in salaries and in recruitment costs. Additional cost savings came from no more printing. They were a very paper-heavy process before using Kefron, and that was something that was a real struggle for them. We saved them 5 grand just from not having to print any invoices off anymore. And one of the big wins for them was we were able to reduce processing time of invoices down by 87.5%. So that's a really, really large amount of time back that their AP team were getting per month. Now, with that time back, what they did is they had accounts payable clerks working for them, doing a lot of manual work, and they developed those people into AP analysts. So they gave them promotions, they gave them more responsibilities, and that allowed them to continue to grow as a business. One thing we've also done for Gold Care Homes is they were on Sage 50, which was quite a small system for them. They wanted to move to Sage Intacct, which is an upgrade within the Sage kind of ecosystem. We're able to support them by doing that, by holding all of their accounts payable data, so there was no worries about where the data was being stored at the time, implement it back into Sage Intacct for them, and there was no downtime, there's no disruption to their normal business processing during that move over, which can be quite a difficult time because Kefron was involved to support them along the way. So it's a really nice story we've got there, and an example of when businesses are rolling out an existing ERP system or upgrading to a brand new one, and where Kefron can help. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about native systems and best in breed systems, so a custom built system like Kefron AP. What we're seeing at the moment is that some ERP systems and some accounting systems are starting to develop their own part of AP automation systems or some kind of extraction technology. At the moment, they're very new, so I'm just going to do a bit of a comparison between those systems and Kefron. One of the issues we find when an organization might have invested in a native system that's built into their ERP is that if something goes wrong with the process, there's no clear area, there's no obvious reason why this has gone wrong, and it's hard to figure out where things have happened. You've got the same support team across your ERP and your AP process, which means people need to look into the system, the whole kind of ERP process, and figure out where things have gone wrong. Now, the difference between this and Kefron is that Kefron AP was built to do one job and one job only. It's to process invoices and get them into your ERP system. This means that we can clearly see if anything has gone wrong, where that is, and our support team can help you with that. We're also going to directly integrate into your core finance system. So it's as if we're already built into it via a few different integration methods, but preferably through an API. The technology is quite new at the moment. It is something that is being developed, which means they don't have a lot of history doing it, and there's not a lot of experience they can draw from. Compared to Kefron AP, the system itself has been around since 2018. We've been developing it this whole time. And the majority of our developments within the Kefron AP platform come from our customer base. They come from our clients. Our clients want to see a change in the system. We're able to implement that by speaking to them. This can also be different because a lot of these ERP systems are very, very large companies where changes are done at a board level, and as a customer, you don't have much input on what you like to see change within the system. Also, if it's a native system, the experience will mirror what happens in the ERP system. So if your ERP system is slow, or pages load slowly, or it's a little bit clunky, you're going to get exactly the same experience from your AP bolt-on. At Kefron, again, it was built to do one job, and that's to save time. It's custom built to do this, and that's exactly what we want to do. What I'm going to talk about now is a little bit more towards Kefron and the importance of good quality, clean data. Now, at Kefron, we think the most important part of the whole accounts payable process, if you've automated it, is the data extraction. Because we know if we've got, I can see there's a few people who work in accounts payable on the call here. I'm sure you know that you need good quality data at the start of the process to make sure you're paying your suppliers accurately on time. And that's why we put such a focus on our extraction technology and our accuracy of extraction. We've got 3 of our clients up on the screen for you here, and I've tried to choose 3 that were from very, very different industries. So one of the top is Highlands and Islands Airports, and they're responsible for managing a lot of the airports in the Highlands and Islands of Scotland, so around that kind of north of the UK area. We've got Astrak, who are suppliers of specialist bits of machinery for construction and transportation vehicles, so building out the undercarriage of those vehicles themselves. And Artisanal Spirits are a whiskey and spirit manufacturer. So 3 very, very different customers we've got there. The first column you can see on the left is the number of documents we receive from them on basically an average month. In the middle is the number of mandatory fields from those documents that our customers have asked us to extract. And on the right is the accuracy of extraction we're achieving for them. Now, the number of mandatory fields will differ from business to business, whereas one person might want a date extracted from an invoice, someone else might want a specific bit of key information. So what we do when we start working with a new client is we understand exactly what parts of mandatory information you need extracted from specific invoices. We make sure we extract those. The numbers on the right, you can see those percentages are the accuracy of extraction. And what we aim to achieve is the high 90% accuracy of extraction, because that's where the good quality data comes from. That's the start of the process. It flows through the workflows and gets into your ERP system, so you can pay your suppliers accurately and on time. 99.3, 99.98, which is really high, and 97.79 are really, really good levels of accuracy of extraction across accounts payable systems. But what we're able to do with that then is cause efficiencies. And how does that work? So again, I've chosen the same 3 clients here, and I'm showing you some bar graphs that are in their Kefron systems. And these are on our specific dashboards, and they're showing automation rates. The one on the left, the verification, is your automation rates at verification checking. And the one on the right is your automation rates at PO matching. And again, you can see really, really high rates of automation on the screen for you here. Astrak is a little lower on their PO matching verification, and that's for specific business rules that they've got in place where they want visibility of invoices. So they want a human to go on and have a look at something before it goes through automatically. which is why their automation rates have dipped slightly from the other two. These automation rates will suggest to us that these three businesses are getting a significant amount of time back compared to a manual process. And that's really important for their plans. So I know at least two of those had significant growth plans and wanted to make sure their finance team could keep up with those without hiring brand new staff into the business itself. Now, what is it that Kefron AP actually does, and then how does it work? So what we want to achieve is what we call touch-free processing, where an invoice will come into you as an organization. It'll automatically get into the Kefron system. It will go through specific workflows in that system and post to your ERP system with as few touches as possible. In terms of payments, that will happen from the ERP system. What we can do is we can have payment data come back into Kefron, but we don't execute those payments for you. And exactly how that works, I've got a kind of high-level overview here. So there's a few ways invoices can get into Kefron. The main way and the most common way is within your central accounts inbox, where all of your invoices are sent to by your suppliers. We'll set up an automatic forward. So when an invoice comes in, it's automatically sent across to our system, and that's how we pick it up. As well as that, we have drag and drop functionality. So if the file is saved somewhere on your computer or it's in an email, it can be dragged into the system that way. We have a dedicated email address where invoices can be forwarded straight onto. And we also have a supplier portal where your suppliers can go on and upload their own documents. The next step, as I said, is what we consider the most important part, and that's where the data is extracted. At Kefron, we use a combination of technology and people to ensure the highest rates of extraction accuracy, which I showed you on those previous slides there. And the way that works is we use 6 technologies, which is fronted by AI and machine learning tech, to extract the data as best as it can from a document itself. Now, at the moment, the best-in-class technology, which is what Kefron use, you're probably looking at about a 90–95% accuracy of extraction. That's where the managed service gets involved. So it's our digital operations team. They are Kefron employees that are based out of our head office. So it's not something we outsource. And what they're employed to do is to ensure the highest rates of extraction accuracy. So they support the extraction technology to bump those numbers up by helping it with, if there's anything the extraction tech can't read, teaching it new rules. And that's how we can achieve those 99+% accuracy of extraction. After that, once we've got the data, we'll pass it through specific workflows in the system. So the first thing that will happen is everything will be validated, and we'll run business rule checks on it to make sure it is all correct. We'll sort the invoice into the correct place in the Kefron system, whether that's based on document type or legal entity. It'll then go to one of 2 queues, and we break them down into purchase order queues or non-purchase order queues. Purchase order queue will be an invoice that the invoice relates to a purchase order, and it'll go to PO matching. You can have a 2- or 3-way match, so PO and invoice, or PO GRN and invoice. If everything matches up, it passes through and gets posted automatically to the ERP. If there is a problem, if there's a discrepancy, we'll present it to you in the Kefron system, and we'll show you exactly what the issue is and help you amend it from there. Non-PO invoices will be coded in Kefron, and then they'll be routed to approval in Kefron before, again, it's all sent to your ERP system automatically. Now, I'm not going to be going through a system demo on this webinar itself, but if that is something you want to see, we'd really appreciate it if you could leave a comment on the side of your screen there. So in that little chat box, should be a place where you can input a comment. Again, if you wanted to ask any questions, please do, and we'll make sure we reach out to you after this. I'll answer as many questions as I can at the end. If we don't have time, I'll reach out to you after the session, answer your question, and we can book in a demo if that's something you want to see. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here is reducing the risk of implementing a new ERP system or a new accounts payable automation platform. And the risks are very similar, and the ways we mitigate those are very similar across both. These are specifically talking about an AP system, but they'll be very similar to an ERP system as well. The first thing you want to do is make sure everybody is aligned, and that's your ERP and accounting system and your stakeholders. There'll be a lot of key stakeholders in the business, approvers, C-level, users of the system, and you want to make sure everyone is aligned of what you want to be doing as part of this project. There is some preparation that's required before the requirements are gathered. So requirements gathering is what we consider where you will sit down with the project manager and you'll scope out exactly how you need your new system to behave. Now, what we'd suggest is you have some discussions ahead of that conversation, to ensure that everyone in your side is aligned and you know what you want from a system, and you can present that to your project manager for a new AP system or ERP system. User acceptance testing is really, really crucial to the delivery of a successful project. Now, we completely understand that while a new system is being implemented, it doesn't mean the business gets put on pause. You still need to be continuing as business as usual. But we really think dedicating enough time to testing the system to make sure it is working and it is right before your go live is crucial. And we see it all the time with our clients. We really put an emphasis of making sure they test their system. We'd suggest you nominate at least one project champion, so someone who is going to be the key point of contact for the delivery of the project itself. Typically with an ERP upgrade, it'll be someone in finance, but it could be anyone within the organization. And then we also suggest that you use the implementation as an opportunity to drive change. Now, the new system is going to be doing a lot for you. It's going to be doing a lot of different things, but it is an opportunity to make sure that if something else can be pulled in that can be improved with the new system, new ERP or new AP system, use this change, use this implementation as a time to drive that change, so that people are coming out of that with one process that makes more sense and is more efficient. Now, I appreciate that was quite a lot of information and you haven't seen a demo of the system, so you're not completely sure how it works for some of you. What you can see on screen there is my contact details if you wanted to reach out to me directly. That QR code in the middle is going to bring you to my LinkedIn page and you can connect with me there, ask any questions. And what I'm going to do for the last few minutes, we've come up almost to the end, to see if there's any questions in the side of my screen here. Okay, first question I've got is from Peter. Are there any specific ERP systems that work best with AP automation, or can they automate be tailored to any system? Yeah, that's a really good question. So from Kefron's perspective, we are ERP agnostic. We're ERP and industry agnostic. So it doesn't matter what ERP system you're using. What we try to do, what we will do, is integrate into your system via a few different methods. Now, some systems will have open APIs, some systems we have custom built connectors, some systems will have to integrate via a different method, whether it's a file exchange or something like that. From our experience from working with a number of customers, we know which systems work best with each method of integration. So we can work for you to figure out, based on your ERP, Peter, which would be the best way to integrate. I've got a question from Anna. If we've already started our ERP transition, is it too late to improve our AP process, or can adjustments be made mid-project? We found that mid-project is absolutely fine. It depends how far along you are. If you're going to be going live with your new ERP system in the next couple of days, it would be a push, but it's something that can be done. Mid-project is absolutely fine. Again, from our experience, we'd suggest if you're looking to improve AP and your ERP isn't going to do that, before you invest in the ERP or during the project are the most important times. I've got a question from Joe. What are the top AP automation features to prioritize for a business with high transaction volumes? That is a good question. Again, it's going to depend on your industry. We find if you have a high volume of invoices, you need a system that is extracting them very, very accurately. You need a system that can have custom workflows and custom business rules built into it to ensure that it's processing all of your different types of invoice in their specific ways. You may also require some line item extraction and line item matching, which is something that Kefron is able to do, and would love to talk to you about that, Joe. I'll reach out to you after that. Big thank you to everyone that joined today. Thanks very much and have a good day, everyone.